I regret nothing that happened today. Nothing! Hello, and welcome to another week with author E. Jamie. I'm starting this on my second day off because on my first day off, I got home and things were like a little busy, and so I just didn't feel like updating yesterday. So we're gonna start with what we did yesterday. Went on my walk, went to a library, dropped off some stuff, picked up some new stuff. So we'll start with showing you guys that. Yesterday I mostly picked up documentaries and just a little pre-stuff. It rained like a mother yesterday. Like a mother. I mean, it was like, build your ark, start gathering your animals 2 by 2 kind of rain. But I sort of wanted to go out anyway because I wanted, I knew Friday, tomorrow, was going to be Good Friday. So everything was going to be closed. So I wouldn't really, you know, I could still go on a walk on Friday, but I usually like to leave. I'm sort of in the habit now of having my Friday be my sort of stay-at-home day. But if everything wasn't going to be closed on Friday, then I would have not gone out yesterday and taken advantage and gone out on the Friday instead. But since it's going to be Good Friday, everything will be closed, I figured yesterday I sort of had to go out because today I wanted to do something else. So yesterday went to the library, and picked up a few documentaries. We got This Changes Everything, and it's a documentary on women in the movies and women sort of in the entertainment industry. And there's some actors featured are Gina Davis, Natalie Portman, Tiffany Haddish, and Meryl Streep. I believe that's Tiffany Haddish. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But, yeah, so. Then I got a documentary on Montgomery Clift, which he was an actor in a classic film actor from the golden age of film with like I knew he was very good friends with Elizabeth Taylor, and I'm pretty sure that he was a gay actor who definitely was in the closet, at least when it came to publicly. And I always sort of had this fascination sort of like with him and his sort of relationship with Elizabeth Taylor. Um, and yeah, so I got this and I was like, well, that would be interesting to watch. So got that. Then we definitely had to get this one, documentary on Billie Holiday, who I absolutely love her music. God rest her soul. So had to get that. And the what seems to be going to be very cool, a documentary on Broadway musicals, A Jewish Legacy, and cannot wait to watch that. Very excited. So at this library, and I'm sort of working libraries now the same way as I'm working like free little libraries. I'm going and sort of exploring different ones, except apart from like the three that are sort of around me. Because I thought that would be like kind of fun to like go to like different ones and sort of like go through them and see what different sort of like movies and stuff that they have. So that's what I did yesterday, and I will say, even though it was hella rainy and just again like Noah's Ark level of rain, it 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 still felt like nice to be out. I can't explain it because it's not quite the temperature yet that you want it to be. So it was like a little chilly at times, but again, like if you have your layers, you're comfortable. But I don't know, it just felt really sort of nice to be out yesterday. And then today I was planning to visit a new free little library, which you will get the clip up before we start here. So that you should get that first. And it was sort of in an area that I definitely want to explore sort of more, because it was close to where I went to high school. So it was sort of cool to sort of like be like in that area again, but sort of like further down a section that like I hadn't really explored. And I went and there was this cute little free little library there. So not a like really wide selection, but got a few things from there. I got this adorable book of quotations. It's so cute. It looks like a little mini Bible, and it's like the gold edged pages. And it's so cute. There's quotes from Elizabeth I, Jane Elliott, Thomas Elwood, James Barrie, just so cute that like I had to grab it. yeah, so got that from the Free Little Library. And I got Smokescreen from Sandra Brown. Now, again, not much of a romantic suspense sort of person, and this is definitely a romantic suspense. But I figured it's free. Give it a try. Maybe I'll like the romance in it enough that the suspense part will still, like, I'll still enjoy that. And then I knew I was going to be in trouble, because when I googled the directions to this Free Little Library, on the way there's a BMV. And if you're outside of they have them in the US, but in Toronto, BMV is a sort of discount-ish kind of, stands for books, music, and videos. And they have 3 levels. And I knew that I was going to go there, because who are we kidding? And I told myself, again, that I was only going to get 1 book and 1 classic. And that, of course, who are we kidding? That didn't happen. And so, let me show you what I got. I regret nothing. I regret nothing. First, I'm looking at, and I need to check my TBR, because I am 90% sure that I don't have this one, but 10% doubtful that I might. And it is The House at Riverton by Kate Morton. Now, believe I have, do I have Clockmaker's Daughter? I think I have Clockmaker's Daughter. I know I have The Distant Hours, and I know I have Lake House. I don't know. I didn't know if I have House at Riverton by Kate Morton. If I do, giveaway. We'll have a giveaway. So I got that. So that was, because remember this rule that I'm supposed to have, that Kate Morton and Karen White and Lucy Maud Montgomery are my only exceptions to this book buying ban that I have broken so many times since then, since my New Year's resolution. So I saw that, and she's exempt. She's exempt, y'all. So this was my regular fiction that I was supposed to be getting, and it was $7.99, and it's The Wicked Sister by Karen Dion. And again, it's a mystery, but it's sort of a family secret kind of mystery thing, and so yeah, I make no apology. So that was the one that I was supposed to get, and then I found that Kate Morton, and then I found A Tangled Web by Lucy Maud Montgomery. So, of course, I had to. And it's a actual standalone novel from her. And I definitely want to go back to that BMV, because they had some other things from her. They had like essays and like her like essays and journals and like all that other like Lucy Maud Montgomery sort of adjacent stuff apart from like her novels. So I definitely want to go back there. I also, because I also wanted to get some stuff from the DVDs section, which I restrained myself from. That was the only restraint that happened today. That's the only restraint. So got that. Very pretty cover. And my classic that I got was a Penguin classic, which makes me very happy. And it's Susan Rowson's Charlotte Temple and Lucy Temple. And I believe it's two novels. One is sort of like bigger than the other. Like that's one, and then like that's the other. So that one's kind of skinnier. But yeah, so looking forward to that. And reading the plot, it's sort of reminiscent to me of Ruth by Elizabeth Gaskell. And that's all I'm going to sort of say about the plot until like we do a book haul with it, because when I do the book hauls, that's when I read the back blurbs for you guys. So make sure that you're subscribed. So when we get to this one in the book haul bonanza that we still have to get through from there, and like but there that you don't see sort of off the screen right now, eventually we'll get to this one and I'll read the back, and you guys will be able to check out what it's all about. So that's what I got from VMV. And then something happened. On the way to the subway station, there was this little nook of international magazine store. And I didn't like it, and it looked like really kind of like dingy, but I just curiosity, the devil, made me go inside. And because I thought that I was checking, let me see their like house sort of architecture, kind of house decor, kind of like magazines. Because if you're new here, I like to get sort of like home decorating magazines and stuff because they help with my writing. They help with like descriptions and stuff. Because I'm very much a sort of dialogue heavy writer, and setting is sort of the stuff that like I struggle with. I always sort of have to go back and like flesh out scenes and stuff, otherwise they're just a bunch of talking heads. And one of my favorite magazines is a magazine called Unique Homes, which I have not been able to find since before the pandemic in like different places that I go, and they don't have them anymore. Well, this little hole in the wall had it. I love this magazine so much. And it's actually cheaper than it usually is. Ooh. So it's actually, display until April 4th. So this is like the previous edition. They don't have the new one yet, but I'm guessing the new one should be soon. If they're supposed to take this off 2 days ago. They were supposed to take this off 2 days ago, but it was still there, and I'm so happy about that. And then in this little hole in the wall magazine store, they also had books. And I was not going to get any books from here because I got 4 books from BMV. But they had a book that I found out a week ago was coming out from a lady who was on my exempt list. So I knew that it was coming out this week. I did not expect that it would be released today. So I got it today. Her new book released today. I'm sorry, I could not leave it there. I could not. I paid full price for it. I regret nothing. I'm so happy. Yep, so I'm so happy. So yeah, um, and I'm especially grateful that tomorrow is Good Friday because I was able to get it because I got paid today instead of tomorrow, which is usually you get I get paid on the Friday. But because Friday's a holiday, they paid us today. So the universe was telling me to buy it. I regret nothing. Nothing. So yeah, that happened. Uh, so and weather-wise, it was lovely. It was nice to sort of like explore that neighborhood a little bit. And I'm just glad that like the weather was nice. Still not exactly what I wanted it to be. I want it to be nice enough that when I go on these walks, if I come across a park, I can sit there for a few minutes and read. That's the weather that I want. And we're not there yet. We're not there yet. But look at how pretty. Look at how pretty the cover is. And like gold leaf and like oh I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. Screw you. If you have a problem with it. Go where fun goes to die. So let's see. I'm in the mood for chicken and rice today. So that's what we're gonna make for lunch. And I was going to film my reaction for Supernatural season 12. I think it's episode two, or the next episode in season 12 that I have to react to. I was gonna do that usually because on my Fridays, because I'm sort of gotten used to the fact that I go out on like the 2 days and then like the third day I stay home. And that was going to be the plan. But Easter Sunday, I'm off as well because we're closed. So I figured that I would save the filming for Sunday. Because I'm going to stay home because Easter Sunday everything is going to be closed as well. So, yeah, I'm going to film my next Supernatural video on Sunday. Tomorrow I'm just going to sort of stay home and like clean and edit my reaction for Outlander season 6 episode 5 for YouTube. That's what we're doing sort of tomorrow. Today I'm going to be focused on editing my historical fiction Good Women, because I gave it like a little bit of a pass before I started editing Wanted, and now that sort of Wanted is edited and almost ready to go, we're just going to be working on the cover now. So I'm going to send sort of my I always sort of pick like 4 different kind of pictures or that kind of stuff that I think I'd like to use as covers, sort of like as suggestions, and then we sort of narrow it down to 1. And so that's sort of like that still has to be done, but the book itself is like ready to go, and hopefully we will have that out in the next couple of weeks because I want to release it in April. I want to release it this month. And so the next book that I'm going to be working on is I'm going back to Good Women, and going to start give it another sort of pass, and then it's at about 54,000 words right now. So I just have like a little bit more to add to it before I reach what is like sort of like my default word count, which is if I can get it to at least 60,000 words, that is a good sort of decent novel length, in my opinion. Might go over, might go way over, but at least 60,000 words is what I always shoot for. So I'm going to be working on that today. And because most of it is all written already. And I know that I'm going to make it at least a duology. At least a duology. And it's about these two girls in the 1920s in Virginia, and a crime is committed, and they have to leave their small little Virginia town and disappear and sort of change their identities and construct these sort of new lives for themselves, and they go to California and sort of seek their fortunes there in the beginning of the golden age of movies and that stuff. So it's very sort of in the vein of the kind of books that I absolutely love to read, and it's those glitzy, historical glamour type of books, which I know is not the big sort of trending thing right now, but I've never... My one trendy sort of book that that I tried was when I dipped my toe into BDSM with To Serve and Protect. Now, I love that book, and I'm very happy with that book, but it's the only time that I ever sort of tried a trend, and I was happy with it. My Blood Vows Mafia trilogy, I wrote that in the first, I believe the first edition of it was published in 2013, I think. So way before the Mafia romance trend exploded. And it's picked up steam since then, and like it did well. It's always done well, that trilogy, but especially got a little peak in the last few years because of the Mafia romance explosion, which was great. But like that's sort of the thing. I don't necessarily write to trends. And I know authors that do, and they are most definitely more successful. But I can't seem to want to, like, I want to write what I want to write. And if people like it, great. Because yes, I would like to do this full time. But I don't want to do this full time writing books that I don't want to write, because I think that's where you get into burnout. And there are authors making killings writing books that are trendy and like just right on the money, and like that are like exploding on book talk and all the talks and all the grams. But and they're releasing like a book a month and what have you, which no, just no, that is definitely not me. um I'm sort of doing this kind of like quicker release kind of thing this year, just because these are books that I've either gotten the rights back and I'm just republishing and putting out there, or they're works in progress that I have a big chunk of and I'm finished, so finishing up and going to be releasing. But if I were to do a from page one to the end, absolutely starting and completing book in one go, I could not do the a book every month or every 3 months or every like, if we're talking about a straight starting today, finishing a at least 60,000 word with the evil day job, with visiting family, being social, doing the YouTube thing, I could do maybe a book a year. That's it. A book a year. That would be my pace, where I would not want to shoot myself in the eyeballs with burnout. So I'm very sort of lucky that I do have a hell of extensive work in progress cabinet over there. So I still have like a bunch of stuff that I still have to release. And I can work on sort of new books in sort of like bits and pieces around that. Like my goal this year is to release Wanted, to release Good Women, and then start, I believe, Blood Vows Book 5, Johnny's story, The Gift. That is the title for Blood Vows Book 5, and it's Johnny's book. That is the plan for this year. Will it happen? We shall see. But that's sort of how we're going. So I don't know how we got on this tangent, but here we went on that little trip, didn't we? Sort of, what about like what I was going to be working on today. And so tomorrow I will be trying to get a good chunk of Good Women edited. And so that's the plan. Going to make my lunch. And I started The Affair yesterday, the TV show The Affair, and I knew that it was just not going to work for me, because I thought that The Affair was it's Dominic West, and I don't remember the girl's name, the female actress's name, but I know it's Dominic West and Joshua Jackson are in it. Who I have loved Joshua Jackson since Dawson's Creek, and Dominic West, I loved him in The Wire. But what I thought was that Dominic West's character and the female character that he has the affair with, that they meet and there's like this sort of attraction, but they like that it sort of happens kind of without them sort of like intending to, and then they sort of like fall in love with each other and like can't stay away from each other and that kind of stuff. No. Allison is a waitress, and she meets him when he comes in with his family, including his children, on the way to their grandparents' house. They stop in at this diner, and that's where Allison the waitress meets Dominic West's character. And even though he's sitting there with his wife and his children, she's flirting with him. Like, she like takes their order, and then she like touches his shoulder, and right there I was sort of like, okay. But I was like, okay, maybe it's like a. I was willing to sort of go with it. Then they get to the grandfather's house, and he can't sleep one night, so he goes to the beach, and she's there, and she invites him back to her house, and he's like, oh, like no, like maybe I shouldn't or whatever, and she's like, oh, I want to show you my outdoor shower. And like, she is deliberately sucking this man in, intent, like there's no conflict in her about deliberately going after this married man. She makes no bones about it. And he is just sort of like being drawn in like this, oh, I can't help it, like, oh, what can I do? Even though I have everything in my life and I'm so happy, I don't know why I'm going after that. I'm listening to this girl. I don't know why I'm listening to this woman. Oh, I might just be a dumb man who like can't help himself. That's sort of the vibe I got. And like right when like she like brings him to the house to like show him, because she wants to show him the outdoor shower, and he like goes along with her, I was like, no, I'm out. No. And throughout it, there's some sort of like a subplot going on that sort of like takes place in the future, where they're like, there's been some kind of murder, and I don't know if like Allison's the one that got murdered. I would not be surprised, because the way she was acting, I would have killed this bitch too. But just no, that's not what I wanted from this show. That's not what I expected this show to be. That like, I don't know like why it got all this acclaim and stuff, because it's just basically a woman seducing a married man, and him basically acting like he was overwhelmed and like overpowered and didn't have a choice in the matter. No. I would have enjoyed it more if it was the two of them being attracted to each other, trying to fight it, being unable to fight it, and the repercussions of sort of that. But no, this hussy, just like, no, she just gave me all the dirty, icky vibes of like going after this married man. I had no respect for her at all. So, sadly, that did not work for me. But what I did find was on YouTube, I found a few channels that have playlists of 80s miniseries. Y'all, I am falling down the rabbit hole. Like, there's this one channel that they have. Yesterday I watched Cain and Abel, which was a miniseries based on the fantastic book by Jeffrey Archer, which stars Sam Neill and Peter Strauss. Um, and I watched that yesterday. Fantastic. And they have miniseries like I'll Take Manhattan with Judith Krantz, Sins by Judith Gould, who I absolutely adored and I talked about in my Speed Dating My TBR. Um, I love that miniseries so much. Um, they have just so many, and like others that like I know about that I haven't seen, and so I'm so excited. So gonna be maybe watching some of that today. um, but yeah, I have like other things that like I want to watch too. So it's that's gonna sort of be watching some stuff. Watching yesterday I also watched this documentary Lost in America about teenagers who are homeless, living on the streets in the States, and that was very, very heartbreaking. And so I watched that. Today I'm going to be watching this documentary called or is it Witness or The Witness? The Witness. And it's about, I'll just read the back blurb for you because, oh my goodness, it sounds amazing. It sounds heartbreaking and infuriating. Here we go. On March 13th, 1964, Kitty Genovese was repeatedly attacked on a street in Kew Gardens, Queens. Soon after, the New York Times published a front-page story asserting that 38 witnesses watched her being murdered from their apartment windows and did nothing to help. The death of Kitty Genovese, 28, quickly became a symbol of urban apathy. The Witness follows the efforts of her brother, Bill Genovese, as he looks to uncover the truth buried beneath the story. In the process, he makes startling discoveries about the crime that transformed his life, condemned a city, and defined an era. So, this looks intense. So, I'm going to be watching this today. And I am loving it so much. I am almost done. I have just this much left. And we're getting little sort of subplots with each of Anne's children. And so far, my favorite is still Walter. He is still my favorite little boy. I love that boy so much. He is the preciousest thing. And I like her other children too. And I love sort of their subplots as well. But there's sort of like every kind of there's a few occasions where they meet like they make really crappy friends. They make friends with really crappy children. And just like we had Nan was like the latest one that I read, and she made friends or so with this girl Dovey, who makes Nan believe, because Nan and Diana are twins, but she makes Nan believe that she was switched at birth with this other girl. So Nan is all like upset and like going to the other girl's house, ready to like confess that she's been living her life, and it's just so like over, just crazy sauce. But I'm just loving it so much. Absolutely adoring it. Um, yeah, it's giving me, it's sort of like okay, we're back to what I love about this book and about this book series and Lucy Maud Montgomery's writing. Um, yeah, so I'm very happy that this one sort of gives me that sort of old series feeling again. Um, yeah, so I'm going to be reading some more of that. Going to be watching The Witness. Um, might watch a miniseries today. I probably will. And working on Good Women. I'm going to be working on that. And so I'm going to make my lunch right now. And I think that's going to be it for today. I don't know if I'll come up on here and like give you another little update tomorrow, but for now, that'll be it. So let me just do my outro just in case I don't feel like filming tomorrow, maybe. Make sure that you're subscribed. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/authorejamie. Like my Facebook page at facebook.com/authorejamie. And I will talk to you guys next time. If I talk to you guys tomorrow, I'm probably going to chop off this outro. Bye.